welcome to the news at this hour on NTA International. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Compliments of the season. Now let's take the headlines. Federal Road Safety Corps applauds orderly conduct of motorists, emphasizes obedience to traffic regulations. Traditional media practitioners to embrace media convergence to remain relevant. Plus special focus on position of the law on convicted parliamentarians. Thank you so much for joining us. Christmas is generally linked to the celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ, while Boxing Day seems to have diverse meanings and interpretations across nations of the world. In this report, Oluseyi Adiagbo went on a fact-finding mission on what Boxing Day is all about, its religious perspectives and connotations.
Well, boxing, like this.
Yes, it is Boxing Day, and Awuyele Oluwaseun is expecting to see the exchange of blows. From all indications, the boxing gloves is still hanged up somewhere far away from this location. Now, what does Boxing Day mean to the door of Emmanuel Okabi and Favor
What do you understand
Esi?
about Boxing Day?
I don't know.
Well, I do not know much about Boxing Day, but in all, I just came here today to have fun.
Let's go back a bit to the history book. Every year, the 26th of December is observed the world over as the Boxing Day. Its origin is rooted in the British traditions, and in Ireland, the day is called St. Stephen's Day. History also has it that in the British Commonwealth, the servants of the Waldo families had to work on Christmas Day, and their services were usually rewarded with gift boxes that were only allowed to be opened the next day, which was an off work to spend time with their families. Here in Nigeria, the Boxing Day is usually a public holiday, and many, irrespective of the background, take advantage of the day to spend time with their loved ones. The resident imam of Nasfat Central Mosque Abuja, Ibrahim Akalambi, and chairman, Christian Association of Nigeria North Central, Israel Akonji, who both gave the Islamic and Christian perspective to Boxing Day, said the lessons of the season is of goodwill, fairness to all, and sustaining brotherly love.
Opening of gift itself is a task. Now the significance is just this: God so loved the world and He gave His Son to us, and we who have received this gift of God in His Son Jesus Christ are supposed to love God and love our neighbors.
Boxing Day does not mean only giving out this gift. It's telling us about the goodness, to be kind to the people.
They also admonished Nigerians to shun any act that can negate the peaceful coexistence, while encouraging citizens to embrace the spirit of patriotism to achieve the growth and advancement they desire. In Abuja, Oluseyi Adiagbo, NTA News.
Thank you so much, Chair, for that report. And away from Boxing Day, it is now 4 months since the federal government closed Nigeria's land borders to combat massive smuggling activities and other illegal transport activities, undermining the economic insecurity of the country. How has the country fared since that decision? Victor Azu evaluates the effects of the closure on the petroleum sector.
In two separate arrests in May 2019, officers and men of the Nigerian Navy saved Nigeria tens of millions of naira. The first arrest of 5 Nigerians and 3 Ghanaians was for allegedly attempting to smuggle 105 drums of PMS from Nigeria to Cameroon, while the other nabbed 8 men trying to smuggle more than 200,000 litres of petroleum products valued at over 50 million naira out of Nigeria. The products were alleged to have been sourced from different parts of the oil-rich Niger Delta.
Illegal refining sites were destroyed by the operation, resulting in the arrest of 62 speedboats and 275 suspects for involvement in either crude oil theft or illegal bunkering.
Arrests like these notwithstanding, Smugglers have remained largely undeterred in the apparent lucrative trade of cross-border fuel smuggling, owing to the obvious differential in petrol price between Nigeria and neighboring countries. After a series of unsuccessful engagements with officials of neighboring countries to check smuggling of petroleum products, the illegal activity persisted and even reached alarming dimensions.
Number of petrol stations that makes you wonder, too close to the borderline. Some of them, you see the discharge pump facing the other side. Doing what?
Reports from the Petroleum Products Pricing Regulatory Agency reveals that Nigeria's fuel supply had dropped to an average of 48.54 million litres daily from 61 million litres before the closure of the borders.
There has been a downward trucking out of products from our depots. What we have seen before the border closure on the 20th of August was a truck out of about 55 million litres a day, and now we are looking at about 51 million litres a day.
However, with pressure mounting from neighboring countries for Nigeria to reconsider, how long more can the border closure be sustained? Yet, more importantly, how much more can the gains of the ongoing border closure be sustained? In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
A report from Calabar says this year's Christmas is completely different from various previous seasons when people were thrown into untold hardship due to fuel scarcity. Morinleo Ajom reports that both major and independent marketers have enough products to dispense to the public.
A ride round the city of Calabar showed that petroleum products were readily available and dispensed at the approved pump price of 145 naira.
We know that we have action president in this country. 2016 we have issue of petrol in Cross River State. But this 2019, in this December, he tried too much.
Government have tried on a very serious note. There is no, fuel panic, buying anywhere.
The stability in price and availability of petroleum products all year round, the people say, is not unconnected with the strategic measures and policy of the President Buhari administration.
This is the first time in Nigeria now, since 1999. That we are having something like this.
With the closure of the borders, it makes it difficult for them to, leave some of the fuels outside, in the night.
Security is another area the people want the government to prioritize. In Calabar, Morinleo Ajom, NTA News.
Still on fuel distribution, fuel consumers and other stakeholders in Jigawa State have acknowledged and attributed the availability of premium motor spirit to the robust plan taken by the federal government to ensure steady supply and distribution of the product across the country during and beyond the Yuletide. Bashir Ibrahim Nakbaba, who went around, did say the Jigawa State capital was at filling stations in the outskirts to assess the situation. Reports that the long queues which characterized the festive season in the last 5 years is now history.
It is a sigh of relief for motorists and fuel consumers in Jigawa State as they celebrate this year's Christmas without the acute fuel shortage associated with the season in the past. This is on the heels of supply and distribution of 37 trucks loaded with varying contents of the premium motor spirit to filling stations from Monday to Tuesday, and a substantial allocation for Wednesday alone, coupled with its availability even before the Christmas period. A cross-section of motorists and consumers say this time around they have access to the commodity with ease.
This year, I can say we have seen a major change because this December it seems to be I'm the first individual on this fuel pump head, so actually there is change.
There are improvements because most of the stations used to be locked during festive period, and the town is slow. But I'm surprised this festive period everybody's out to make his business. That is a very good thing.
It's the measure taken by the government to make sure of the availability of the product everywhere in the country.
In order to sustain the feat beyond the festive season, it behoves on the dealers and marketers to continue to play complementary roles by desisting from sharp practices, capable of shortchanging Nigerians. As usual, the mood of Jigawa State is generally peaceful this Christmas, as the citizens were seen going about their legitimate businesses. From Lucy, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
Let's now talk road safety. After a critical review of the first phase of the 2019 special end-of-the-year patrols, the Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Dr. Boboye Oyemi, calls on the motoring public to sustain their obedience to traffic rules and regulations as the second phase of the exercise commences in earnest. The Corps Marshal also commended the Corps across the country for demonstrating absolute commitment, professionalism and innovativeness in managing the massive traffic movement recorded before the Christmas celebration. According to him, the fact that traffic movements were orderly in most parts of the dreaded points across the Federation towards the Christmas day and no reported cases of commuters sleeping on the road till the following day were reported is a positive development. Oyemi particularly urged those leading convoy vehicles to show greater restraint while passing through congested and built-up areas to avoid disorderliness that could result to traffic chaos, and expressed gratitude to other security agencies for collaborating with the Corps in ensuring orderliness and security in challenging areas across the country. And out to security, the Presidential Order 5 aimed at promoting indigenous technologies and local content seems to be most beneficial to the military. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa highlights some of the milestones so far recorded in this regard.
Globally, militaries are partly rated based on their ability to develop or acquire their needed hardwares to prosecute operations. In view of the nation's emerging security challenge, capital-intensive nature of the arsenal, and in line with federal government's local content policy, the Nigerian Army commenced massive research and development of needed hard and softwares to cut down capital flight. This locally produced mine-resistant ambush-protected MRAP vehicle, nicknamed Eziogu, is a product of collaboration between Defense Industry Corporation (DICON) and the Nigerian Army.
The presidential directive was to involve a professional, well-respected, highly motivated and people-centric Nigerian Army that will have the requisite capability and capacity to respond adequately in a timely manner to solve the myriad of contemporary and future security threats.
With customized reinforced suspension system, off-road capacity suitable for the northeast difficult terrain, the combat vehicle is produced from a high-grade ballistic material.
The Eziogu MRAP is so cheap, equivalent of about 10 imported ones, and is very effective.
Not only creating employment for the people, because I understand it's 100% locally manufactured. So that gives jobs to our youths, engineers and the like.
While in the engineering depot Kaduna, I was opportune to meet an ongoing upgrade of a locally fabricated helicopter by the depot.
So this helicopter was in Mogonu, but we have upgraded by improving on the capacity of the engine, and we have also been able to now purchase the swash plate, part of the pitch link and the rotor, which we are now trying to install on the helicopter so as to further continue with our research and development of the helicopter.
These developments are fast-tracking ongoing internal security operations and the nation's military-industrial complex. Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And from security, we now move to the judiciary. The Federal High Court sitting in Lagos recently convicted the former governor of Abia State and chief whip of the Senate, Orji Uzokalu. He is currently serving 12 years prison term as handed down by the court at the Kirikiri Correctional Facility in Lagos. What is the position of the law on a member of the Senate, now an ex-convict? Dele Atumbi of our Judiciary Desk provides answer to this question.
1999 Constitution under Section 308 grants immunity to the President, Vice President, governors and their deputies from criminal prosecution. However, members of the National Assembly are not exempted from criminal prosecution while in office.
The Constitution has provided under Section 66 that if somebody has been convicted for financial misconduct, he is not qualified
The 1999 Constitution as amended further envisages that an elected officer is subject to the rule of law. This was provided for under Section 68, subsection 1b of the Constitution. Flowing from the Constitution, what happens to the seat of a parliamentarian that is convicted, as in the case of Joshua Darie, a member of the 8th Senate, and recently the former governor of Abia State, Orji Uzor Kalu, who is the chief whip of the 9th Senate.
So once he files an appeal, he will remain a member of the National Assembly until the appeal is determined.
Now, he is still a member until the period within which he should appeal to the Court of Appeal would have lapsed.
The lacuna created by the absence of a parliamentarian voted by his people to represent their interests and expected to meet the mandatory 1/3 sitting obligation needs to be attended to. Therefore, can a convicted parliamentarian still discharge these constitutional duties while serving a prison term in a correctional service facility?
People deserve effective representation. For me, at that point, if the sentence and the jail term is long enough to emasculate effective representation, then that senator should automatically lose his seat.
This is the final arbiter on this matter. If this court upholds the decision of the trial court after its appeal at the appellate court, in line with Section 68B of the 1999 Constitution as amended, Orji Uzor Kalu automatically loses his seat as a senator. However, if the apex court pronounces otherwise, he maintains his seat. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
You're still watching the news on NTA International, reaching you live from Abuja. Let's take a breather now. More reports ahead when we return. Stay with us.
That channel where you watch just now don't waka, no panic.
No panic.
You go do it by yourself like ABC. Oh yeah, press the menu button on top your remote. Scroll up and down till you see Information Central. Then press OK.
Press OK.
Check the signal strength and quality. If the signal strength and quality pass 70, make you press the exit button, go back. Go advanced options, then choose installation, then go to reset and press OK.
Press OK. Wow, now you self fit catch all those channels will be one miss road by yourself. Yes, make your group for no loss. You see as I do, Abi? And I see as I do,
Go TV, live it, love it.
And I see as we do,
Thanks for staying with us. With the constant increase of internet and mobile phone users, the traditional media must embrace the new media, otherwise known as media convergence, for it to maintain relevance. This was the main thrust of a 3-week seminar for media practitioners in Nigeria, organized by the Training Institute of the National Radio and Television Administration, China. Herman Jabani reports.
The electronic highway of information that is besieging the world has brought an end to an old era of information dissemination, which is transforming from a turnstone-away world to a click-away world. The traditional media is suffering loss of audience, revenue, and relevance, and this is why this seminar, put together by the Training Institute of National Radio and Television Administration, China, is aimed at boosting knowledge of media convergence of the traditional media in Nigeria, as well as strengthen China-Nigeria relations. Experts in the industry say media convergence is the merging of mass communication outlets, print, television, radio, and the internet, alongside portable and interactive technologies to various digital media platforms.
In this era, everyone can use their mobile phones and use their microphones online. Everyone can be the journalist. We cannot control all of the quality of the information or reports they have published.
The fallout now is for the traditional media to key into and also accommodate the cost of providing services, content, and technological development.
You have content on one side, and then you have technology on the other. So both converge to drive news.
You not only do your newspaper, you're doing social media, that is, you're streaming,
You are doing news, less than 30-second news that you put online as the news is breaking, you stream it live.
Media convergence. It is the blending of multiple media forms into one platform for the purpose of delivering a dynamic and faster experience of content and information to the audience. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
And for happenings in the financial sector, let's now join on NTA Fine Face.
Chancellor of the University of Abuja, Professor Abdul Rashid Nahala, says Nigeria's industrial revolution needs technological backing to thrive. He said technology is essential in the drive to revolutionize the agricultural sector of the nation's economy.
You can never go wrong with technology. Technology does not just make things easy in terms of production, but it's also able to multiply so many levels. So we're hoping that technology in agriculture will lead to what we always need in this country, which is agri-mechanization. In terms not only of production, but in terms of storage, in terms of processing.
Away from agriculture, bank customers carried out a total of 97.32 trillion naira worth of financial transactions on the instant payment and point of sale platform between January and November this year. Data from the Nigerian Interbank Settlement Scheme shows that customers carried out a total of 94.49 trillion naira worth of financial transactions on the instant payments platform and 2.832 trillion naira transactions with POS payments in the 11-month period. The volume of instant payment deals increased by 58% in the 11-month period of 2019, compared with 645.52 million transactions recorded in the corresponding period in 2018. For the POS payments, the NIBSS reported 392.48 volume of deals, amounting to 55% increase above the 253.96 million deals reported in the corresponding period of 2018. That's business news. Thanks for your time. I'm Onengiye Fineface.
Thank you, Onengiye. And Obiageli Ugwoke has trending stories in the foreign scene.
Suspect officials say 7 soldiers and 80 militants were also killed as the army repelled attack in Abindal, northern province of the country. President Rochma Christian has declared 2 days of national mourning. Jihadist groups have stepped up attacks in Burkina Faso and other West African countries in recent years. In the meantime, Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski says she is disturbed by her party's stance before President Donald Trump's impeachment trial. Mr. Trump was this month impeached by the Democrat-run House for abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. He now faces trial in the Republican-dominated Senate, whose members are supposed to remain impartial. The president has repeatedly described the impeachment proceedings as a witch hunt. And elsewhere, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is being challenged for the leadership of his party in what is seen as a test of his hold on power. He is facing long-term rival Gideon Sa'ar in internal party elections. Although Mr. Netanyahu is expected to win, it comes at a time of mounting difficulties for the veteran leader. He faces trial of bribery and corruption charges, as well as a 3rd national election within a year after 2 inconclusive results.
Now to felicitations. President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated the Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule on his 60th birthday, urging him to make good governance his priority in order to leave a lasting and favorable legacy. Here are details of the President's message.
The President, who wishes the Governor many years in good health and prosperity, advised him not to rest on his oars, as the task of fulfilling campaign promises is even greater than the campaign efforts.
Similarly, President Muhammadu Buhari joins the media, particularly the advertising industry, in celebrating foremost advertising practitioner and chairman of Troika Holdings, Biodun Shobanjo, on his 75th birthday. The President's message is contained in a statement signed by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina.
President congratulates the marketing communications consultant for years of lofty achievements following his investment in an integral part of the economy that has created jobs, equipped many with skills for startups, and attracted the global spotlight. President Buhari felicitates with Shobanjo, whose wealth of experience and knowledge he believes will continue to inspire entrepreneurship in more people, and praised that the Almighty God grants the advertising expert longer life, good health, and more wisdom to keep investing in the country and her citizens.
Next is a look at the weather picture. And that ends the news at this hour on NTA International. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Don't forget to join us at 9 for the network news.
My name is Balaunti. I'm the Managing Director of Petroleum Product Marketing Company, a subsidiary of NNPC. There are significant price discrepancy between Nigeria and its neighbors across Africa. There's a discrepancy of between 150 to 250 naira. That creates an incentive for arbitrage, whereby smuggling triumphed by taking petroleum products across the neighbors so that they can be sold at higher price. While the smugglers are making the money, Nigeria is paying for it. And that payment is distorting everything that we do in terms of planning, in terms of our ability to fund, and thereby taking money that is meant for development. The introduction of this Operation White will have a reduction of close to 6 million liters on a daily basis, which if we take an average of 150, translate to a saving of over 1 billion naira every day. That is the benefit of Operation White, and we have started seeing the great benefit.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International. Your window to the world.
My name is Yemi Adetunji, the COO downstream of NNPC. Ever since the closure of the borders, we have seen a marked reduction, about 10%, in terms of the evacuation of what you call loadouts of PMS, which equates to about 6 million liters per day.
The fruit, plantain, is a major staple food in West and Central Africa, the Caribbean island, Central American regions, and northern coastal parts of South America. It is one of the staple foods mostly grown on the tropical regions of Nigeria and West Africa.
The plant was discovered by Alexander the Great about 2,500 years ago in India, to be precise. And from there, it was introduced to other parts of the world. He was the one who introduced it to Africa. And since then, it is cultivated everywhere.
The plantain plant is believed to have originated in Southeast Asia. It is a tall plant of 2 to 10 meters with a conical flat trunk, formed by the leaf sheaths of its spirally arranged leaves, which are 1.5 to 3 meter long and about 0.5 wide. Plantain farming is undoubtedly one of the most profitable agriculture in Nigeria. It is a low-capital agricultural business, and almost every Nigerian soil is good for plantain plantation.
Musa paradisiaca, which is otherwise known as plantain. The English name of Musa paradisiaca is fruit of paradise. When all of us die, that's the fruit we will eat when we get to paradise. It is source of reliable, all year round availability and highly edible crop.
This is Akim. Akim is a microbiologist turned farmer. He ventured into plantain farming when white-collar jobs seemed so invisible. Taking his first step in starting a plantain farm is acquiring a farmland with the right type of soil and the land located in an area with favorable weather for the growth of the plantains.
Plantain plantation is just a land. Maybe it might be large, it might be small, where you have mainly plantain planted on that land in a very sequential manner. That is what plantain plantation is. It's just like you have palm plantation and other kind of plantations too. First, if you are talking of just planting, depending on natural water like rain, then you are talking of maybe from March, April, May. So when there is sufficient water, because plantain needs a lot of water. But if you have good water irrigation, you can plant anytime.
Plantain suckers are used to grow new plantain plants. They are outgrowth which develop from the bud at the base cone of the mother plantain plant. Akim, the farmer, is set to plant in some suckers on his new plantain farm.
This sucker is gotten from the parent plantain, because each parent plantain can produce up to 10 to 20 suckers per annum if the farm is being well maintained. So you can now remove those suckers and then use it to plant a new field.
Cultivating plantain is not a difficult task because it comes by its own propago. The kind of propago with which you cultivate plantain is a natural structure that the plant produces by itself without interference of anybody. That structure is known as sucker. The sucker is a perennating organ through which you can have as many individuals or plantlets of plantain from it. It is embedded in the soil.
You just, after planting the sucker, then from the 6th week, you find out that the thing is already having roots, establishing its own roots. From week 8, you can now add your manure. So gradually from there, you keep on growing. And then normally you have to weed, because weed compete for food with plantain. So if you allow weed to choke it up, you will not get what you want. But if you remove weed, ensure that it has adequate water and then manure, then your plantain will grow and grow very well.
So this is a sucker, right?
Yes.
And this is a sucker too?
Yeah, exactly.
What's the difference?
Now, the only thing we did here is that, just like this one, we just cut it off from here. Okay?
Okay.
That's how this one is now. And the advantage of this is that when we plant it, we just more or less bury it, cover it with soil, and then spray the entire farm with herbicide. We add atrazine too, so that it kills the seeds of all those herbs. So it will take another 3 months before you have weeds coming out, during which period you have this like this. Within that 3 months, yes, this is what you get.
Yes. When you've planted this, is buried.
Exactly.
After 3 months.
No, from
within the 3 months.
This
is what
like
you get.
Yes. So it will start growing from there, but we now clear the land of weed. But in this case, if you plant it this way, first of all degenerate. That is
really?
Definitely. It won't start growing from there.
Okay, when you plant this like this, it degenerates.
Definitely.
And then it starts coming up again.
It might even come from here, but first of all, it will go down before starting. Because this one, it will take 6 weeks to start establishing itself. Okay. During that period, this will definitely go down because nothing is nourishing it. Okay. So, but the disadvantage now is that it's not always easy to use spray during this period because it's just coming out. But this one, you have done it, you are free of anything that will kill the plant, because if the herbicide touches this thing, it will kill it.
Okay, so as a farmer, if I come in and I say I need suckers that I need to plant, which of them will you encourage me to buy? Is it this to be buried, or I should just go for either of these?
If I have my way, I will encourage you to take this.
Oh, you encourage me to take this?
Yes.
Why?
The reason being that it is easy for you to manage the weed at the beginning. Okay. Once you spray that place, the land is free. But with this one now, within that 6 weeks, you are already having weeds. Oh. So to have to spray it, there are most of the people that spray may not be able to be very careful. It will not touch the leaves as it is coming out.
Okay. Are they the same price as in, are they?
Yeah, the same price.
Okay.
After burying the sucker, by 6th week, you will start getting this, by which time the buried sucker its roots has already been established. By the 8th to 10th week, you get this. And from there it grows to mature into, by your 8th or 9th, to mature into a plantain tree.
It is better to plant plantains in rainy season. The plantain plant should be able to grow without stress and vigorously during the first 3 to 4 months after planting.
As a farmer, you have to be sure of the area where you want to plant your farm. Where you want to plant your plantain or your sucker. The environment has to have all the requirements that are necessary for growth. Requirements like the pH of the soil, like availability of nutrients, whether humus is there or not, and what is the water level of the area. Is it too much to support the growth of plantain? Is it too low to support the growth of plantain? All of these will have to be considered before you choose an area as your plantain farmland.
One of the current 10 bags of rice.
Never see
for your own work. You are close to the bottom. Very, very.
The farmer measures the distance between each plantain crop.
So usually we use rope. We just use rope straight like this. You see 2 meter, 2 meter, 2 meter. It's square. Then we continue like that in the whole farm. And that is how we now plant. Bring this thing now. All right, Solomon, come plant. The planting size. Down, 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 down. Over there, bury it.
Now, the farmer is planting the sucker.
You bury it. It's okay. It's okay, it's okay. That's it. Cover it totally with soil.
Organic fertilizers are good to improve the soil moisture, retention, and biological activity of the plantain growth. They prevent weed and erosion. The best time for application of fertilizers on the plantain plant is 1 month after plantation.
Having planted now, okay, we now spray. The essence of spraying is to ensure that the farm is free of weed for the next 3 months. You don't use only herbicide, you combine it with atrazine because atrazine destroys the seeds, okay, while the other one destroys the vegetative leaves. So by spraying now, what you are going to get is that the farm will be free for 3 months, during which period the sucker must have sprouted and grown beyond where sprayer can now kill it, so that you can now spray again when the time comes.
The plantain fruit will be ready for harvest after 8 to 10 months once the harvest season begins. The plantain plant will continue to produce more suckers for plantation.
Your eyes were blind.
See this particular one. Once it matures, once it brings out its fruits and matures, it is cut down. It will serve as manure for the upgrowing, for the next coming growth. While this one is the next generation that will take over from where it is this thing, where the parents was cut. So this is what will mature again to a new fruit. This is what will mature again to a new fruit. So this is also a good example of the next generation. Once this goes up, it matures. This one takes over. This once is cut down. This one is the next one that will. So it brings out more suckers. It is from here that it is uprooted. The excess suckers are uprooted to establish new farms.
Are you saying that this is the parent?
For now, this is the parents.
Okay.
Because we have harvested twice from here.
Yeah.
And then
once this is gone,
this one follows.
This one follows.
The next one follows.
The next one follows.
This one follows.
Okay.
Like
this
that.
This one will keep on coming, and the other ones keep coming like that.
Then this is the sucker, right?
Yeah, this is the sucker.
You can now
uproot.
What you have excess of it? Even this one is sucker.
Establish new farms.
Okay.
These ones.
Okay. To establish a new farm.
As soon as the plantains are harvested, the demand for plantains is always on the increase. there is a market for the product. You could supply to companies that process plantain flour, sell in local markets, and even export the farm produce.
If you look at this zone, it's not far away from Lagos. And Lagos is a very big market because of the population. Then apart from Lagos, like this area is stay along the West Africa coast. Benin, Togo, because we are very close to, we are in border. We also have neighboring countries like Benin and Togo. They come around to come and buy here. So the market we have here is, apart from Lagos, apart from Nigeria, we also have West Africa, other countries to come here to come and buy the plantain.
This is Ijoro Market in Lagos, one of the markets where plantains are offloaded right from the farms. Plantain processing has helped in creating jobs for entrepreneurs, marketers, farmers, among others. Plantain processing has become a significant economic activity for large and small-scale farmers. It has the capacity to create jobs in many areas, thus advising the unemployed to leverage on these. At the Iduro market, you will find young Nigerians buying and selling to earn a living. People also work as drivers, marketers, or machine operators in plantain processing companies.
I'm a trader. We go to different bushes to buy plantain. So we buy from Benin, Ondo, Ekiti, and many places. It depends on how we hear the information that plantain is here, so we go there and we buy.
Can I come into a community like this and then start doing business?
Where you don't have a job, you can come with your money into capital, even though 5,000 naira, you can establish you.
So with 5,000 naira, you can establish me and I'll start this plantain
Yes,
business.
you can make the money.
So how do I start as a new person now?
Where you come,
Yes.
I will still sell this for you. 3,000 naira. Understand? You have 5,000 naira. Where you bought this one, if you carry it, go sell it, you see more than the money you take back. Understand? Where you buy 3,000, you can sell on 6,000 naira. For where the people are shading. You know that people should buy it to chop. They can't buy in bulk like this. You can buy in bulk and go and pieces and shade, sell for other people to eat. Understand? From there I can see your money.
When you have raw plantain bunches like this, across the world, it's either banana or plantain, whichever way. In most cases, they call it banana or whatever. But you find out that this is a $44.4 billion industry. I'm talking of raw plantain, not processed ones. People export. Even some of our Nigerians are now exporting to South Africa. There are countries that cannot produce any of these things. And moreover, it can be a wonderful foreign earning project. Because like Cameroon, I think is third in their foreign earning. Côte d'Ivoire, apart from cocoa, the next one is plantain. So they make a lot of money out of it. In Nigeria, we have no plantain farm. I want to be quoted. Because when you have somebody having 2,700 acres of plantain farm, 12,000 acres of plantain farm, in Nigeria, I doubt if anybody has up to 100, more than 100. I think that's the highest I have seen. It's up to 100, no, 40 acres.
Why is it so?
I don't know. Reason being that we don't know the value of plantain. We don't know what it can be turned into. We don't even look at it from the angle that it can earn us a lot of money. And we don't even see it from the angle that it can generate a lot of employment. First, if we look like we have said, if we look at from the leaves to the corm, that is the one under, they are all totally useful. So If you get this one, you can get animal feed. You can get a lot of other things from it. Then if you look at the plantain bunch itself, you know the peel, you can use it to generate ethanol, which Sapien, this one Spanish company is doing in Cameroon. Okay, you can use the plantain peel to get ethanol. The research work has shown that, and companies are getting that. Then you can produce baby food with plantain. That is correct. You can produce clothes with plantain trunk. All you need to do is convert it to fiber. And that is the raw material. Paper of any type comes from plantain. We are talking of ceiling board. We are talking of tiles. We are talking of balconies. You know, like papyrus of Australia, quoted in their stock exchange. Today, they have duplicated that in Egypt. I think Egypt is a desert land. Nigeria is not. How come that they are now using plantain to produce those veneers and Nigeria is not doing that? So when you look at this, you find out that there's no plantain farm here.
In Nigeria, plantain is a special delicacy. It is indeed gaining acceptability in the country. Many eat it as a substitute for amala. Medically, plantain flour is good for diabetic patients. Doctors are advising diabetic patients to eat plantain flour because of its nutritional value.
This is a plantain pulse. I got it from this plantain, but this one is ripe, very ripe one. I blend it. After blending, I add milk and then knead it, blend it together. So after blending it together, I use a little flour to spread on top to make it not to get dark. Because you know plantain after blending, or even if you cut plantain for frying and leave it for some time, it gets dark. But this one, after that, I use flour, like this flour. I use flour to spread on top of it, as you can see. Okay, the purpose of spreading this flour on top of it is to retain the color, to make it brighter. You know, plantain, once you cut plantain, or even the ordinary cut fried plantain we do fry, once you cut it and leave it for some time, it gets dark. So even after blending, it gets even worse. So after blending, I spread a flour on top in order to retain the color. So after putting flour on top of it, I now use my roller to roll it. I'm making plantain chin-chin out of this. You can still make other things out of this. So you can still use plantain to make cake. But right now what I'm making is chin-chin, plantain chin-chin.
Plantain is a special delicacy prepared by frying, roasting, steaming, or made into plantain chips. Boli. This is Nigerian roasted plantain or Nigerian grilled plantain. It is popular as a snack. Boli is simply enjoyed with grilled fish or pepper sauce.
So you find out probably the alternative one you have is plantain. So it's better to eat this for lunch than you go sit down and eat heavy food with ogunfe and all the rest that will do nothing to your body.
Unripe plantain porridge is a meal enjoyed by most people, but commonly prepared for those trying to reduce their sugar consumption or those with diabetes. Plantain flour or plantain amala is made from unripe plantain. Gone are the days when we are limited to high carbohydrate swallow. Some call it plantain amala simply because of the similarity in color and texture with amala. It is easy to make, good for the body, and it is high in nutrients. So, when next you feel like eating swallow, think of the healthy plantain amala. Plantains are considered to be one of the richest sources of potassium in the fruit family. When our body doesn't receive enough of this mineral, it can surely have an adverse effect on the organs.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online, or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
This is the network service of the NTA.